Radio. Low, stable, and predictable inflation is a path to economic well-being. Time by the Bank of Jamaica is now 12:30. It is time for PIOJ Migration Spotlight, brought to you by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
Know before you go.
Safe and orderly migration means more opportunities for Jamaicans to live and work overseas and for immigrants to bring their skills and culture to benefit all who live in Jamaica. A key part of safe and orderly migration is planning. This means before you migrate, make plans for your family, finances, lifestyle, and health.
Know before you go.
For more resources on migration and resettlement, visit the Know Before You Go link on the Planning Institute of Jamaica Facebook page.
Talk Radio 94 FM.
Just because you do a lot of talk.
RJR's Hotline with Clive Mullings. We're not just talk, we're substance.
Okay, welcome back. And of course, you know, this is our spotlight on migration. Know before you go. Next week is the last episode of the weekly Planning Institute of Jamaica's feature Spotlight on Migration. Video recordings of past episodes are on the YouTube channel of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. Our guest today had a personal experience of being trapped in enforced labor, and although she's out, she has a criminal record. Now, she's helping former victims to continue their education and raising awareness in communities. To take us into the topic is the dub poem, Not for Sale, and I believe that we'll be hearing that a little later on in relation to the trafficking in persons. And this, of course, is from the unit in the Ministry of Justice. You understand that this is a play that was in fact written and performed by Randy McLaren and John Joseph Nepal.
There are pull and push factors, socio-economic and cultural matters. When life is a mess, people hopeless, traffickers start show interest, promising jobs, but before you say yes, make the proper checks. Call the police, call the consular. 188 Ministry of Labour. My people, I said we cannot fail. Join the campaign, no. Not for sale, leave the children. Not for sale, stop traffic them. Not for sale, leave the men, the women. Not for sale, stop enslave them. Not for sale, by art, not people. Not for sale, make we halt the vehicle. Not for sale, it's a crime, it's wrong. Trafficking a gone for far too long. I eat a gone for far too human. Trafficking a gone for too long. For too long, for too pain, sorrow. Jamaica today, strange country tomorrow. If I won, that's one too many. Stop it, modern day slavery, Lord. Mama, papa, no sell your sons and daughter. Forced labor, forced to steal. Prostitution that's far from ideal. Taken by land, water overseas. 24/7 Bagra overseas. 24/7 work, no seas, no ease. No matter how them fall on them knees, ball, please, please. That's why we cry. Wave the banner higher. Not for sale, not for sale. Leave the children. Not for sale, stop traffic them. Not for sale, leave the women, the men. Not for sale, stop enslave them. Not for sale, buy art, not people. Not for sale, make we halt the vehicle. Not for sale, it's a crime, it's wrong. Trafficking a gone for far too long. I eat a galang for far too human. Trafficking a gone for too long. For too long, for too. Can you imagine? One woman servicing 50 men one day. Anywhere them station are, she have to stay. Risk her life if she ever disobey. Want to live through the night, see the next day she have to work the money and more work is the pay. Oh, them no play, but you see the bright smile, you know, see the effort. Gyrating the hips, every muscle hurt. You see the high heels, you know, see the deep scars. Will the souls ever heal them? Travel so far, Lord. under bondage, deceitfully recruited and transported, physically, sexually exploited, future blighted. Perpetrators can be male or female.
Not for sale. And that is so very important because, finding yourself also in a foreign country in a legally compromising situation is frightening. Jamaican American Shamere McKenzie is the Anti-Trafficking Ambassador to Jamaica and the CEO of the Sungate Foundation based in Alexandria, Virginia. Sungate Foundation provides educational opportunities to survivors of commercial sexual exploitation and human trafficking in the United States. The ultimate goal is to equip these young girls, boys, women, and men with a solid foundation to confidently go after their dreams. Her personal mantra is the voice for those enslaved, the voice for those who perished while enslaved, and the voice for those who are free but do not have the courage to speak. Welcome, Shamere McKenzie.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Spotlight on migration is so very important because there's a lot of ignorance which sometimes is out there and persons find themselves victims. And so I want to ask you essentially, Shamere, tell us about the support that you give to individuals who have become entrapped.
Well, I wear many hats. So, of course, I am the Anti-Trafficking Ambassador and the CEO to Sungate. And I also wear some other hats here in the U.S., being a speaker, trainer, both nationally and internationally, and providing mentorship as well to survivors. When we talk about trafficking and helping survivors, it is very important that we support survivors. Yes. A lot of people see victims who have been enslaved and think, oh my gosh, they can't overcome the trauma. But a little support can go a very long way. So I help to provide scholarships to survivors here, educational scholarships. Excellent. Through the Sungate Foundation. Yes. And in Jamaica as well through the Lasco Chin Foundation. This is separate and aside from Sungate. This is just me using my personal funds to provide a Shamere McKenzie scholarship through the Lasco Chin Foundation for trafficking victims in Jamaica. And Lasco is actually hiring a social worker right now just to come through that process.
Excellent. And thank you so much. Congratulations to you. But I must ask, how do you become connected with the clients who you serve?
Well, doing this work, I have 13 years of experience and been doing this work for 9 years. Yes. So quite a few people know the work that I do. So I have calls from the FBI. Just last week, the FBI called me asking if I could mentor a survivor. The Ministry of Justice in Jamaica had contacted me about mentoring a young lady that I still mentor, but I think that relationship has now passed that mentorship relationship, as she now calls me her mom.
Oh, really?
And various individuals reach out to me for assistance when you're talking about serving victims.
Absolutely. And how can individuals check to make sure, though, that the work that they're being offered is decent?
That the work that they're being offered is decent?
Yes.
So, it varies. One of the major components of when we talk about trafficking and work or labor exploitation is the inability to leave, right? Mm-hmm. So can you leave your employer? And what are those conditions like? What are the work conditions like by your employer? Are there harsh conditions? Are you working too many hours? Are you in a room with 6 other people? Yeah. Like sharing a bedroom with 6 other people? Are you allowed to take breaks? Are you allowed to drink water? Do you have to get permission to go to the bathroom? So those are just some of the simple things that one can look for. I also work on the National Human Trafficking Hotline here, and I actually had a Jamaican call me last Friday just asking about his wages because the minimum wage in that particular state is one thing, but he's getting paid below that. And so we walk through the process of what are some other conditions that exist?
Yes.
Being that individual is on a J1 visa. What are some of the other conditions that exist where this could be a potential trafficking case?
I see. A very important point as those. But how can migrant communities like Jamaican Americans support women who are in enforced labor? How can they give back and help in that regard?
Well, as with any other issue, right? Many times you see an issue and you point fingers as that this is a politician problem, this is law enforcement problem, and we blame everybody else but ourselves.
Yes.
And oftentimes we need to look in the mirror and ask, what can I do? So in the answer to that question, it's really personal. Mm-hmm. If you're in a position where you can financially contribute to help an individual in whatever way that in which that individual needs help, you can financially contribute. If you can financially contribute to organizations who are providing services to these individuals, right? I know right now in Jamaica, one of the great needs for victims is getting therapeutic care, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to support just getting a victim connected to therapy and pay for those treatments, that's fine. Or you can adopt a survivor the way I did for the young lady that I mentor in Jamaica. And that is, again, it goes back to how far you are willing to go. So for that young lady, I provide, I help her with clothes, just her little items that she needs, right? So when I go shopping for myself, if I see something that I think would be cute for her, I pick it up too, right? Awesome. And then that extra layer of encouragement that you can do this. How is school going? And we comb through those things and grades and everything else that you will do for anyone else that you support in your life. Mentorship, host various drives. So it's really looking at your network. Yes. Right? And connecting your network to the cause.
Yes, and that's so very important. You can contribute to organizations if you can't get around to do it yourself and if you're challenged for time. But you can give to allow others to be empowered.
Right. And even your gifts and talents. Yes. So we have individuals who are lawyers or doctors. You'll be surprised that survivors need various things, right? Yes. They need legal help. They need medical help. So if you have a particular skill set that you can lend, that would also be amazing. And that's not just for survivors, but that's also for organizations. Yes. Right? So if you're an accountant, you can connect to a nonprofit who may need help with their accounting.
Yes,
excellent
point.
And that's one way of giving back.
Absolutely. Tell us why you believe that education is the cornerstone of empowerment for victims.
Yes.
And yes.
So, I've always believed that you teach a man to fish. That slogan. Yes. You give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. I believe education is one avenue of hope for survivors. Because when you talk about what leads one into being trafficked, it's that lack of opportunity, right? So if we provide someone with the opportunity of getting an education where they can go on and become successful members, use that education to be contributing members of society, then that will prevent re-trafficking.
Absolutely. And so, of course,
and
knowledge is power.
Go ahead.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. And when we talk about education, it's personal again, right? So especially when I talk to the survivors that I serve and I say education, I'm not just talking about college, because we know not everyone is equipped and prepared to go get that 4-year degree or 2-year degree or whatever degree that is. Let's talk about trade school and certificate programs,
Absolutely.
Right? And whatever education means for that individual.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you ever so much, Shemere McKenzie. You have given us really a lot of information to mull over, and there are things that people can do here and overseas in dealing with these victims of migration and enforced migration, that is. All right, thank you so much, Shemere.
Thank you so much for having me.
And every success.
Yes, thank you. And thank you.
And that was PIOJ Migration Spotlight, brought to you by the Planning Institute of Jamaica. You're listening to RJ 94 FM, Real Jamaican Radio.
Fast way to get money from foreign? Tell your loved ones abroad to use the new Zoom app from PayPal. Get your money in cash or to your bank account as fast as a lightning bolt. Usain Bolt recommends it.
Get